when you open your file up, you should have the model in this condition. Basically, all the textures are gone, and there's no material applied to it. It's just a basic material that's applied. It's just grey. There's no unwrap that's taken place. So if we look at the model itself, it's a very basic model, and it's good enough to demonstrate the unwrap process. We've got barrels here again to show some of the other tools that you can utilize. So I'm not gonna go and do everything exactly the same way. The idea is to show you some slight alternatives to doing different types of unwraps. For starters, what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply the unwrap modifier. So you see that the green seams automatically appear because this will be your um, how your current UVs look like. As you can see, they look really messy. They're all over the place. Don't know what's going on there. Got bits going all over the place. Let's apply the checker just to see how the textures are actually stretching on this. Oh, as you can see, it's taking the whole model as one, and it's very badly stretching it. Um, seeing everything as one object. So how do we fix this? How do we lay out the UVs? We'll have to think about it in 2D. For instance, if we want our texture, one texture to appear here, we want this and even this face, all these faces to appear as one. For starters, what we'll do is we'll go up to our mapping option, and sorry, we'll first select all the faces here, and we're gonna hit unfold, and we can choose this option here. It's unwrapped it, but it's not the proportions. Obviously, you see how these barrels, each one of them are appearing much bigger, so clearly they're taking up texture size. So since our one texture is going to be we're doing all this as one texture. When you do your own models, you're welcome to use as many textures as you want, but we're going to be using one 2048. So we want all the UVs to be laid out in this one texture space, so that one big texture will only one texture will be utilized. So we're not going to have like three, four. Sometimes what people do is they'll have a whole different texture for a barrel, and you're welcome to do that. I tend to do that a lot of the time, so I'll just use up a whole texture space for just the barrel, and just have the texture smaller. So instead of having it to 048, you can have a 512 by 512 texture just for the barrel separately. So the idea behind this tutorial is I'm gonna try different things to give you a bit more options, and improve your skills on how to do things differently each time. So I'm not going to be using one method for unwrapping. So now that we've applied this unfold, we can see that it's unfolded better than what it was before, but we want to see utilize the whole texture space, because if you look at that, it's really messy now. We've got faces that are sitting on faces, and it looks really messy. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this option here, which is pack custom. So what this does is it utilizes the rest of the space, but you can see a little bit better what's happening. You can see the faces that are still stitched up, but they are they're just going everywhere. We don't want that to happen. What we're gonna do is we're gonna apply some other type of unwrap to this. So for instance, there's some options here. We've got a planner mapping. So if I click on that, you'll see how that gives you an unwrap from straight from the top. See how that's giving you it, but it's stretching all the way here. So at the top, this would be perfect, but we don't want that because that's just from the top view. We can change this. We can have it from the side, but then if we have it just that from the side, it stretches from this faces. we can select individual faces to do that, and partially we're going to be doing that. But first of all, what we're going to do is look at some of these other options. We've got cylindrical mapping. Again, let's go to Y option, got X, Z, and then Z. Again, see how the top part stretches and looks really bad. We can't use that again. We can use it maybe for the cylinders later on, but for now we can't use that. So let's try the box option. So the box ones again has separated, it still hasn't separated the options here. What it's done is, yes, as you can see, it's created all these faces differently. So if I undo that and hit the box option, so the box map in this case has worked quite well for us. So this will give us a starting frame, somewhere to start from, and to make sure that we've got, so we hit fit. You can hit center of the pivot point, you can hit fit, you can move the pivot point around if you're not happy with it. You can center it. These are again available in all the options. Another way, this option here is, for instance, if I click on it, that pretty much gives you the view that you're looking at your model currently. Um, so if I go here and go to the side and hit this one, it unwraps it to the side. So pretty much it's not, we don't want box. So for instance, if we have a planner and we go from this side and we say hit that, basically it's gonna create the view from the viewport that I've got selected. For instance, if I turn off the checkers for now, options, so this should show a bit better. So if I got this view here and I want it to project, I'll hit this. You'll see the house appearing the same way, but obviously it's stretching at the same time. It's not correct. If I hit the box option, a good way to start this off is if we go into so if I go into front view here, now hit the box option and click on this. It's pretty much done it, all the faces nicely in this view. So again, what I've done here, if I make this view bigger, so I've pretty much just gone into this view here, which is my front view. The model is here, so I'm gonna choose the box modeling option and I'm gonna hit fit and I'm gonna unwrap it. So if I look at the texture coordinates right now, they're messy, so I'm gonna customly pack these. So for instance, if I do that, you'll see I've got a lot of options here. Some of these are rotated, it's quite random. So but what I want to do is I want to stitch these up at some point as well. So for starters, what I'll do is I'll zoom out, go into this option here, and I need to have a starting point somewhere. For instance, I know this bit here is nicely done, and that's the next bit. Um, I'll take all these faces. I like to do this. I usually move all the rough faces out of the way first, ones that I'm not too sure about, or to keep a clean cut face, keep and just bring in the clean ones once they're done. So I'm gonna choose this face. This one's over here. I'll choose that face, and I'm gonna direct this, select that, and move that across here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start stitching these up because I'm much more happier than these ones. I'm saying that okay, at least they're there. So again, they're already, the proportions are already there. So if I hit that edge and hit this option here, sorry, the options are not there, I can select all these faces and hit utilize, and then if I hit edge and hit this one again, you can see that it's doing that. If I hit all this and now hit the mapping, mapping, unfold, and press OK. So do the same thing, hit unfold, walk to the closest face, press OK. That will keep all the proportions, and it's already also made it nice and flat. But before I even do that, I want this side to be selected. It's up to you how far you want to go in regards to how big you want the texture to be. For instance, I want it like I don't want it to utilize all the space, so I want this one fairly small. There's quite a bit to add here, so it's up to you how you want them to be. So being at 248, it can be quite bigger than that. So I'll keep it as that, and what I'll do is I'll even include this face. So I'll find this face, I can bring it out here, and hit my edge option, stitch that one up, so it does that. Again, hit these just to see, make sure that it's done it properly. Fold. Okay. Yep. So, oh, I wanted this all to be one. So that's my face, pretty much there, nice and flat. As you can see, this is appearing the right way. You would do this for pretty much all the sides of the faces, so we're going to do that all the way around. I'm going to carry on doing this. I'm going to cut this video short. There's no point me showing you this exactly, but just on an alternative way that you can do the same thing again is if I spin this around, and you've already got a straight face selected here, so you could always actually I won't do that for that one. What you can do is I can show you for this one. So if I click on these faces on the roof, and see how this is appearing slanted and it's joined, and I want it to be separate. Another way to do obviously this is if I go in and hit the planar mapping, see how that's created a nice straight face for me. I can obviously scale this down to the right size. For instance, if I select these two and let that go, okay, it's freaking out. There we go. So if I select these two, and again unfold mapping, okay, that's now keeping the proportions of the model. Sorry, and if I scale it down, sorry, if I hit utilize, oh, what's going on here? So it's still utilizing that texture space. For some reason it's collapsing this one. Just 1 second. I'll fix that. I'll fix that in the next video. Actually, I'll cut this video short here.